Get ahead on your preparations for this week's game by setting up your game plan. Hello, everybody.
Larry, first opened in 1995. There's a look inside Everbank Field here in the River City of Jacksonville, Florida. Today we continue on in Wild Card Weekend with a great AFC matchup between the Los Angeles Chargers and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Carry for Melvin Gordon. And he'll wind up with about 6, up past the 30 to the 31.
Let's talk a little football 101 here, because one of the keys to advancing the ball downfield, success on first down. Huge difference, as we know, between 2nd and 4 and 2nd and 8 and 9.
On 2nd down, they'll run with Gordon. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. Call it a gain of 7, and it gets him a new set of downs.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral. Also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
Now Gordon on first down. And a good swarm to the football defensively as they get him down at about the 40. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8. And Charles, here's the offensive lineup.
Melvin Gordon, the exciting young runner out of Wisconsin. Well over 2,000 yards his last year with the Badgers. This is a guy who can catch it and run it.
Second down following the run. They'll run it now out of the gun. And an alley to run. And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line. They get 9 out of that one, and as a result, the drive continues. That O-line, they cleared a big hole there on that run.
The athleticism of offensive lines continues to evolve, and we're seeing it here. Not only are they controlling things right at the line of scrimmage, but they're able to get upfield to get to what we call the 2nd and the 3rd levels. You know, get to the linebacker spot, the secondary spot, getting all the way downfield with their blocking, which helps keep the running back clean.
They'll try to continue that trend here this afternoon.
Well, the person carrying the ball is always the easy target when things aren't going so well. But I think it's a combination with the Chargers. They've got to get the offensive line going in order to improve those numbers from last year. They weren't very good running it, partner.
No, they were bottom of the AFC, 2nd to last in the entire NFL. And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively. from the shotgun. It's Rivers. And able to catch it on the left sideline, but they're going to rule him out of bounds. So it'll be incomplete. Certainly one they'd like to have back as it brings up 4th down.
Well, no second guessing the call here. It was 3rd and long, so throwing the football was probably the smart play to try and pick it up. But they don't get it, and now the defense goes off the field feeling pretty good about themselves, gaining some momentum as they force them into a likely punting situation.
And this is going to hit the goal line and continue on into the end zone for a touchback. So here's the first drive now for the Jags. They'll be led out by their quarterback out of Central Florida. It's Blake Bortles.
I can't help but chuckle because I always remember when Blake Bortles got drafted as the 3rd pick in the draft, the year he came out of UCF. So many people were in shock. They couldn't believe that the Jacksonville Jaguars had not tipped their hand ahead of time. I think they were very happy to get him once they did.
The ground. This is Leonard Fournette, and he will lose yardage on the play, back at his own 19-yard line. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
Joey Bosa with the tackle for loss. How about that pedigree in his family?
Yeah, some good pedigree. Tell us about it, Mr. Davis.
Dad played in the NFL, first-round draft pick. Uncle was a first-round draft pick. He's got a brother coming behind him. But Joey Bosa, guy plays really, really hard and plays all aspects on defense.
They'll motion the tight end across the formation. Again, it's Fournette. And he's going to be taken down with a marker on the field. So let's see about the call.
Holding offense.
So on the big tight end, holding.
Each and every year, we talk about very few tight ends coming into the league that are polished blockers or asked to do it a lot in college. So it's a constant struggle and a constant fight to learn how to do it without holding.
Here we go. Green 90. Green 90. Left, 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 left. Left, 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 left. So.
Now Bortles throwing on 2nd down. And he fires one that's intercepted. Trevor Williams with a pick. And he brings this one back. It's a pick 6 and a Charger TD.
Well, partner, I do know this. If you're a defensive back, you have more chances to make a team now than ever because people are using 5 defensive backs, 6 defensive back packages. Not exclusively, but way more than before. That was a nickel package there, and what a pickoff.
Why is that? Why are they using that more?
Because more people are throwing the ball on earlier downs than ever before. This has become a passing league, and because of that, more defensive backs on the field on most plays.
So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. To return it is Corey Grant. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. And here now the offense heading back out there. I guess you could say they're kind of fortunate to be in the position that they're in, able to host as a division champ, because it's really one of the weakest divisions in the NFL.
And there's often the discussion every time, right, that fourth seed, should they actually be hosting? Because sometimes it turns out that division winner has a lesser record than wild card teams that get in, and some people think that'd be a more fair way of doing things. I gotta tell you, I personally like it. The winning a division title, I don't care what the division, how it's ranked, it still means something to me, and I like the fact that they get to host.
I think that that's the reason you have the divisions. If you didn't just stack them all up and take the best 6 records, but there's a division for a reason, and the champion hosts the first round.
And the first rule of thumb in building a team, build a team to win your division. Beat those teams first, then you go from there.
Fournette, a first down carry. And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38. That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be second down.
I think there's one element that just keeps increasing on defense in the NFL, and that's speed. They want it at every position, and we just saw there some linebackers who can go sideline to sideline, run past that trash, go past people, and make tackles near the sidelines.
Not only near the sideline, but also in the backfield there for the loss. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete. An extra defensive back on the field for the Chargers now on third down. On third and long, it's Bortles. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Melvin Ingram in there to get him for a loss of 3, and it'll be fourth down. Third and long, defense with no fear. They brought the pressure.
Zero fear at all. That means they feel really good about the guys who are going to cover. But the biggest one is they think their pressure will get there before he has a chance to find an open receiver.
Now this offense about ready to take over again. They bring the 5 seed into the playoffs. Of course, they're one of the wild card teams. And when you're a wild card team, it makes it a little bit tougher. You have to win the extra game. But there's been a precedent set of teams doing that successfully in the past.
And it's usually teams that have aspects that really jump out at you and it really factors in the playoffs. I mean, Pittsburgh, they rode a heavy run game with Jerome Bettis when they won in 2005. And then don't forget the Giants in 2007, that season, pass rush. Remember how big that was for them during the playoffs. And for Green Bay, it was the quarterback play of Aaron Rodgers. So to me, it's a matter of what's going to affect the game in a big way. Can that aspect of your team really make those plays? A lot of times it's pass rush and quarterback play.
Caught left side, Williams. And he'll be a couple yards shy of the 20 at the 18. A gain of 6 there on first. I think defensively you're okay with that. You're in the first quarter. He's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on. And I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that and you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch, now you put the offense in a position where every series they have to work hard to pick up first downs, and you tend to stall them out when you do that.
Rivers now on second down. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down.
He kind of forced that one there, didn't he? It's almost like he predetermined where he was going to go with the football.
Yeah, he wasn't really going through progressions. He wanted to go to his top guy. You do that against this defense, they'll make you pay, won't they?
Yeah, they certainly will. They react very quickly to the thrown football.
So the D-line's going to spread out. Play fake to Gordon. Now Rivers fighting through pressure. Going deep here for Allen. And incomplete. He can't hang on. Would have been a nice catch. Instead, it brings up a fourth down.
How about this offense already feeling good about themselves with a touchdown already in their first drive? It's certainly come out firing, even though that one was incomplete.
With the 7-0 lead, more apt to take a shot like that downfield?
Hey, you're one to the good. Go ahead and try and pressure advantage.
Here's Jacob Shum now. On for his second punt. He'd take a repeat of his first. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. That's pulled in at the 32. And 9 yards there on the return following a punt of 47. And the Jaguars go on offense, first down and 10. And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go. And the results for them have not been strong to this point. 2 drives have ended in a turnover and then a punt.
So would it be too snarky for me to say that they've shown improvement? Because you had two drives with turnovers. Now they punted it away, so at least they didn't turn it over. So that's good, right?
You're going to get some angry users reaching out to you on social media.
Well, I don't mean to be. I was actually looking for the positive. Silver lining, you know.
To throw, it's Bortles. Lee's got it over the middle. And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
And a minimal gain here as he's up to about the 47-yard line. Just a couple on the pickup there, and now it's third down. We haven't seen much from him running the football here in this first quarter.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen much of him at all so far. They've stacked him up pretty well, but when you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game. Keep handing it to him, and some of those runs that aren't working now, they turn into 6, 7, 8, and maybe more later on.
The NFL on EA Sports is fueled by Gatorade, the sports fuel company.
Alongside the former defensive back Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. It's Jaguar football as we begin. So they run it on second down. Now let's see what third down brings here for the offense. From the gun, it's Bortles. And he's got his man out of the backfield. That's complete. And he's brought down, but following a pretty juke move that gives him the first down. 8 yards on the pickup there, and it moves the sticks.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
Now Leonard Fournette. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
Even though they gave up more than they wanted to on that play, it actually illustrates how well they bottled him up throughout the game because that was his longest run of this contest.
Bortles to throw on second down. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Trey Boston. And they have possession, and they have it at the 38-yard line.
And that's a great example of ball skills right there, partner. You and I do a lot of games, and I can't tell you how many guys look to run with the football before they've intercepted it. So that's a nice job of focusing on the task at hand and coming away with the interception.
And this is incomplete.
That one didn't quite make it to the target, but that's not always a function of the strength of the arm of the quarterback, is it? Sometimes there's just too much pressure there. In any case, the ball doesn't arrive.
A second down throw for Rivers. And he is out of bounds inside the 35. He got 29 yards that time. A nice little completion there by Phillip Rivers. And you and I were reading the article yesterday, 5th grade. Rivers had to do a project where he had to make a poster about his dreams and aspirations. So he clipped out a football player from a magazine article and pasted his face on the helmet. That's what he wanted to be, and it turned out okay.
Not so bad. Not so bad at all. Remember, he's the son of a coach. And on that play, I think he made the old coach proud with that completion.
Another nice gain, 16 yards there, and a first down again.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle, that's what we saw right there.
Yeah, and that's what their job is. And really, a lot of the time, they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold them to no gain.
Back-to-back stops make it 3rd and 10. So back-to-back plays here where he couldn't get anything on the ground. Now you face a 3rd and 10 and assume you're going to try to pass it, right?
I would think so because you've tried to run the ball, and really it doesn't matter who got the ball in the play because there was no space to go. So I think you step back, throw the ball to try and pick up the first down.
They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. And now the passing game here in the second quarter starting to heat up a little bit.
Don't you feel the rhythm starting to happen, right? You see it. Now the confidence is starting to rise. I think now as a play caller, because that has happened, you lean on it a little bit more. You don't go totally away from running the football, but you do say, guess what? We can throw it. We can throw it well with a whole lot of confidence.
It's a gain of a yard, and it'll set up 2nd and goal. Be interesting to see now what they do offensively down near the goal line after not much there that time.
As the offensive play caller, that may change your sequence now. Instead of coming right back with a running play, you may have to go to the air.
They run. It's Oliver. He gets this down to the 3. Brought the power run out of the bag, but couldn't do a ton with it. Call it a gain of a yard as they get a little bit closer here. It's 3rd and goal.
His path became similar to almost running a stretch play, didn't it? Trying to find a crease, anywhere to put his foot in the ground and cut back. It just never materialized.
3rd and goal for Rivers. And this is caught. He's got it. Touchdown, L.A. Keenan Allen from 3 yards out. And the Chargers find a way to stretch their lead. On those slants, everything happens so quickly. What makes it work?
The timing between the passer and the receiver. In this case, a slant route ordinarily is probably about 3 steps before you go on the slant. In this amount of time, I think it was a 2-step deal. Boom, put his foot in the ground and got inside for the pass.
Got inside for the pass, got inside for the catch and the score. Novak out now to kick this one away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no thought to bring this one out. He'll just go down to a knee, and he'll take over at the 25. Leonard Fournette making his way back out there. They haven't been able to get him on track. They haven't been able to get this offense on track. No points so far.
Maybe it's time to start doing a few different things. Throwing the ball a little bit. Maybe featuring other people touching it for a while. And then you get a chance to come back to it when things have changed a little bit. They have to make an adjustment.
There's still time for him here as we sit in the second quarter.
Exactly what they needed right there because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
They keep it with Fournette on 1st down. And now running right through it. And he'll grab a gain of 5 out of this up to the 41-yard line.
Getting had a ton of success here so far, but you get the feeling that he might be on the verge of popping one.
Yeah, even on that one, there was a little bit of a hole, but it closed there quickly at the end. On 2nd down, here's Bortles. Dumps it off to Fournette. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. 11 yards there for Jacksonville and a 1st down as well. 2 minutes remain here in the 1st half. Back with more AFC playoff action after this timeout. A reminder, as we did all through the regular season, we'll check in with Larry Ridley at halftime. He'll have highlights and analysis of this 1st half of play. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out, incomplete.
The one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown him a lot of different looks here in the 1st half. They've come after him. They've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard. Bortles will try again on 2nd down. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off by Jason Verrett, and the possession is theirs at their own 43-yard line.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice game.
And boy, that one drops incomplete, but if he was hit a fraction sooner, it may have been a fumble.
I think he had to unload that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Lucky it wasn't a fumble, really. Rivers, open man, it's Allen. And he's got the first before he's brought down at the 39-yard line. A Charger first down, Rivers hooking up with Allen.
In today's football, where receivers break tackles, make people miss, get upfield for the extra yardage, when you see a play like that where it's caught and he's dropped on the spot, that's a big-time play by the defense.
And he gets it down a yard or two shy of the 30 before he's out of bounds.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. That's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
And now before this first down play, we're going to get a timeout here, as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. Rivers on first down. That is caught at the 7. Now the Chargers will use the second of their timeouts, as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. Again, it's Rivers. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Telvin Smith coming on the blitz. He gets him for a loss of 7.
Well, that was point-counterpoint, wasn't it? They decided to throw for it on first and goal. Instead, the defense counters with pressure, and the defense wins, getting a big sack.
And he's going to go down again. And now the Jags defense deciding to call a timeout. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. So it's 3rd and long for the Chargers, and Rivers after the sack. Working out of the gun, Rivers. And pressure gets to him again. Now a second timeout called for by the defense. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. On 4th down, Anthony Lynn says let's go for 3. And this a 39-yard attempt. And the 11-year veteran bangs it through, and the lead will grow. It's now 17-0. So time left here in the second quarter, but they get the field goal near the end of the first half to expand that lead.
Yeah, that's got to feel good, but they can't let up. Now on the kickoff, they've got to make sure they don't give up a big return or big yardage to set up the other team for one last chance to score themselves.
Out comes the Jacksonville offense as they get set to take over here. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
It'll be a gain of 10 to start the drive out, and by a few inches, that'll be a first down. They go play action here on first down. He's just going to dump this one off to his fullback out of the backfield. Call it a 3-yard gain, and it'll be a second down.
And the big guy catches the ball out of the backfield, and oftentimes it's quite a surprise to the guys playing defense because not ordinarily thought as a pass catcher, it often works when they decide to dial it up.
On second down, here's Fournette. And this will go as a short gain on what will be the final act of this first half. All right, we've got some happy trigger fingers ready to see who's going to survive this wild card game as we get you back to quarter 3. So both teams have their marching orders, and we'll get going again here in quarter number 3. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. Out come the Jaguars now as they'll go on offense first here in this third quarter. They come out here with a 0 on the scoreboard. What was said in that locker room? That's what I want to know.
I would love to have been in there because we often have the feeling that there's a lot of shouting, screaming, people upset. But typically, halftime locker rooms are a lot more clinical than that. And in this case, are they upset that the plays weren't working because of execution? Or did they think they were just bad plays to call?
Yeah.
We'll find out pretty quickly here if they feel like they had something going, but they just need to do it a little bit better or not.
We'll find out. He'll check this one off to Fournette. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. The Jags picking up the first down there, a gain of 12.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
And he'll be brought down just shy of the 45. Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it second down. Tough running there. That's a hard-earned 4 yards.
Yeah, those are the unsung kind of runs. They don't fill up the stat sheet, but they do set you up in good position on second down.
Henning. Looking and finding Allen Hurns. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. The Jags picking up the first down there, a gain of 12.
It's a nice completion, a little bit of run after catch as well to create the yardage that they got. But it is so tough to cover that route, the drag route, because they run it at varying speeds. Because the key is to create hesitancy on the defender's part.
Always so empathetic for those DBs, aren't you? And he's going to get this inside the 30. Another big hitter there. This one good for 18.
The more football I watch, the more I want to check and see if teams are going to panic when they're down on the scoreboard. And this team has shown no signs of doing that. A lot of the time, they come out after the half. Things haven't worked so well in the first go-around. They want to throw the football like crazy. But the way to open up throwing the ball is to run it. And they've run it well here to start the second half.
Check.
They'll try the right side here with Fournette. And they go the wrong way here. Knocked back to the 20. And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a third down.
And that's another stop for the defense. Something we've seen all game long. They have been on fire today. No matter what's called by the offense, they've had an answer for it.
Now Henning. And this is going to be incomplete.
But that was certainly an aggressive call and an aggressive play. Instead of just going for the first down, took the shot in the end zone, went for the touchdown.
And on third down, they said, forget about the sticks. We want 6. So the scoring drive encompasses 9 plays, but the net gain, 3 points.
And you're going to have drives like that in this league. Sometimes you just got to take the 3 and move on. Always better than nothing.
This fielded at the 2. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. Now we'll look at the Chargers offense. They get ready for their first possession of the second half. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? They score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, I think you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
It's still third quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
So you got the lead here in the second half. Obviously, you love big runs like that at any time. Here, you really like it.
And how about the confidence that's being exhibited by that offense now? They don't care what you're lining up doing on the defensive side. They want the big fella to carry the football. They carry it often.
It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. And this is complete. It's Allen. And he couldn't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. It's a nice pickup of 12 yards, and it gives him a 1st and goal. If you're going to blitz, likely going to leave you in man coverage with this guy, and that is less than ideal.
It is, because just about any offense that has an elite receiver, if you blitz and have him in man coverage, you're going to him, even if he has an elite defender on him, because he usually knows where the ball is before the defender does.
And he is in for the touchdown. Always important to get the first score of the second half. Now you start to pull away a little bit and get some breathing room going.
And now we find out about the fortitude of the group that's behind, because they were counting on getting into the game a little bit more, right? Maybe they get the first score. That doesn't happen. It looks almost insurmountable, but it's not. Let's see how hard they play the rest of the game.
This is fielded a couple yards deep. And all that worked, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. And now out come the Jags. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you've described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be going for 6. Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively.
Let's go now. White 20. White 20. 56 to Mike.
Trying to get the run game going. This is Fournette. Space to maneuver at the 40. Avoids him at the 40. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this into enemy territory across the 40. A big chunk of yardage there, 37 yards.
Sometimes those lines that are drawn on a grease board or in a playbook, they come to life out on the field, don't they? And we just saw down that outside handoff to the right.
That right tackle, he gets excited for that call, doesn't he?
He does, because he just wants to dominate his guy and say, listen, I was the point of attack. I took care of business. That's why you're able to get downfield and add all those yards to your total.
Yeah, really nice gain there. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Partner, I think from our experience together, we have learned that most offensive coordinators are going to tell you, if I'm going to run the football on first down, I've got to get at least 4 yards. They got 5 here. They've got to feel pretty good about that one.
And he's going to go down. They get to him back at the 40. Melvin Ingram in there to get him his 2nd sack now of the afternoon.
That's his 2nd sack of the game, and the best defensive ends, they do their homework as much as offensive guys do. They know how to beat the offensive lineman across from them, what moves they need to do to set them up. This guy's been pretty good at it all game long.
And a shot taken on 3rd down, unsuccessful. 4th down now. Well, they haven't had a whole lot of success in the passing game here. Now, in the second half, he's thinking, I guess maybe just take a shot deep.
I think you're right. Almost looking for a bailout, isn't he? Can my receiver go up and make a big play for me? Can I create a penalty downfield, maybe pick up an interference call and get that yardage downfield? Anything trying to get going again, but you're right. He definitely took a shot.
And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. Boy, it looked like he had it and dropped it. And the Charger defense stands tall, and they get the football back. That's another mistake there on the drop pass on 4th. And we've seen him do things like this all game.
It's not hard to figure out why they're down by that deficit. They haven't made plays that are going to keep them in the game or win the game all game long. That's another example right there. It all boils down at the end of it to execution. Either you make the play or you don't. One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field.
And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Telvin Smith. in there to pick up his second sack now of the afternoon.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Here's Rivers. Under pressure again, and down he goes again. Paul Puslosny in there to get him his second sack now of the afternoon.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
1 quarter remains for the right to survive round 1 here in the AFC. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports.
You're not you when you're losing. Snickers satisfies.
Back now in Jacksonville. A lot of folks starting to make their way to the parking lot. Their guys trail big here to begin quarter number 4. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after first and second down went backwards. It's third and very long. Rivers. He's airing it out for Williams. It's caught inside the 25. And he'll be down deep into Jacksonville territory. A big play there for the Chargers. 43 yards. So the defense blitzed. A nice job picking that up, completing the pass.
And how in sync was the quarterback in his center on that play? They saw the blitz, made the appropriate calls, got the line engaged because now they know there are going to be extra guys coming at the quarterback, so they got their assignments down pat.
And he's in for a Charger touchdown. Keenan Allen, his second touchdown of the afternoon. And the Chargers are going to add on to their lead.
In order to lead in a game, you're going to get plenty of contributors, but that's his second touchdown catch of this game. He's one of the key guys in this one.
And you better believe he'll be looking for the hat trick here as this one continues to go. Here's Corey Grant now to return. Oh, now he bowls him over. A really nice return all the way up to the 40, but hold everything. The flag down. You see it on your screen. This one looks like it's going to come back. So that will push him back.
And now we know why he had a little extra space to run, don't we? An illegal block in the back. That penalty will move them back.
And on the outside, they're playing press coverage. They'll look to throw now on first down. Flushed out. And he's taken to the ground, but he was pulled down by the face mask. Here come the flags. And I believe this is going to be a first down.
Face mask. Defense.
Officials so cognizant of that call nowadays, but that would look pretty easy.
Yeah, you're right. They took out of their hands having to wonder whether it's a 5-yard or a 15-yard inadvertent or not. Now, it's a lot easier.
Chargers able to get the pressure and bring him down. Melvin Ingram able to disrupt yet another pass play. His third sack of the afternoon.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat.
Well, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. Joey Bosa in there to pick up his second sack now of the afternoon.
So, Brandon, we sat in with a lot of coaches, and when they talk about things they want to accomplish offensively, I'm not sure that sack and sack are on their play sheet.
Steps away to his left, and he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. Call that one an even 60 yards, 6-0. And the Chargers will be backed up deep to begin their drive as they take over first and 10. They'll start on the ground. This is Gordon on first down. And he will lose yardage here back to his own 6. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
Brandon, it's all about pace and tempo now for them. They've got the advantage, so I'm going to put musical terms for you. You don't want to go prestissimo. That's too quick, too lively, right? But you also don't want to slow it down too much. You don't want to go lento. What you really want to be is moderato. Nice and even, nice and steady, get those gains, and close out the game.
I think that chicken parm from last night's gone to your head. A little bit of ground to make up for the offense as they face a 2nd and 11. They keep it on the ground. Again, Gordon. And he'll be hit and dropped for a loss at the 5-yard line. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the 4th quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
The Chargers on 3rd down. They've hit 4 of 7. This is going to be 3rd and 13. Now Rivers going to give it off to Gordon. And he'll be taken down for a loss back at the 3. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and that's going to bring up a 4th down.
So, Brandon, when this offense gathers together to watch tape for this game, they're going to be feeling pretty good about themselves until the coaches get upset about the play we just saw. But you know their defense is going to be. But we put up big points all game long. The defense is going to win one every now and then.
And he's able to get it out quickly, and this is not a bad kick here. And he'll take it just outside the 40. A good return there. Call it 13 yards. And this offense will take over right at the midfield stripe with a 1st and 10. Out comes this offensive unit as they get set to take over here. So they won their division and earned the right to play at home in the first round of the playoffs. But there's nowhere to go here. He lost the football and picked up by the Chargers. And they'll start out with great field position at the 47-yard line in enemy territory.
And with that kind of a deficit, you can't afford to make any kind of mistakes. But it's been pretty symptomatic of what we've seen all game with them, isn't it? Down this big in the 4th quarter.
You'd say an afternoon to forget, absolutely. This is Gordon. And they'll bring him down after just a short pickup. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down. And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all 3 still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage, use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts.
And keep in mind, it'll also stop the clock at the 2-minute warning. Coming up to the line, and they will need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. This is Gordon as they go to him again. And he takes it down to the 40 with a pickup of 4.
Well, if the coaching staff's doing a good job upstairs, they'll file away what they just saw from the defense right there. They sold out to stop that running play. I'd say keep that in mind. They want to try that again, go play action, hit them over the top.
The Chargers on 3rd down. They're at 50%, 4 for 8. This time it's 3rd and 3. So it's Charger football as we welcome you back from the 2-minute warning. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. They'll try and run it. Here's Gordon. And he'll take this one down to about the 40. Just a yard on the run there, and that's going to bring us to a 4th down. This late in the game, Charles, I think you maybe seriously have to think about going for it.
Especially where they are in terms of field position, because this is almost like no man's land. Might hurt your punter because there might not be enough space, maybe too far for your field goal.
Trying to force it to Allen, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Tashawn Gibson, and his guys are going to take over at the 34-yard line.
Oh, timing is everything on a route like this. He tried to drive that football into a tight spot. And if you're a little early or a little late, chances are there's going to be someone there. And sure enough, this one's going the other way.
The Jaguars are going to go ahead and use their first timeout as they'll get a chance to talk. It over after picking up the first down. Looks like the defense in press coverage here. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Joey Bosa getting him once again, his third sack of the afternoon.
This offensive line flat out cannot handle this pass rush. We've seen it demonstrated time and time again to the tune of 7 sacks in this game thus far.
Right, 18. Switch. Sponge. Go. Hey, alert 3. Boom. Sack, baby. Sack.
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by Trey Boston. And the return here will go to the 31-yard line.
Well, this defensive pressure has been constant all game long. The pass rush, the coverage, they've all been excellent. And now they'll tack on an interception here as this one continues to slip just further and further out of hand.
Down to a knee here. The defense still with a couple of timeouts. We'll see if they want to use them. And the offense behind the chains here a touch on 2nd and 11.
Hey, Rocket. Bill 180.
And I know it's hard to find solace on one side when the season ends, no matter where it ends, but especially in the playoffs because there's all that build up to the moment. But I would imagine the post-game locker room speech, it'll have a pretty positive spin.
It should. They've made a heck of a run to get to the playoffs and have that chance to advance, even though they didn't. But you're right about how much it's going to hurt because when you work that hard to get this far, it hurts just a little bit more. No matter when your season ends, it's a downer. But in this case, even more so because you had your eyes on the big prize, which was the Lombardi Trophy.